great. What was that then? Hello? I'm going to switch cameras because we've got an internal mic on this one. It's a bit naff.
Hello, 1, 2, can you hear me? I've just realised my headphones haven't really turned on yet, so that's not a great start for me. But we are joined by Arcade and yourself. Thank you very much for watching, and watching that 0-0 against Wolves. It wasn't the best. What, the music? Oh yeah, because obviously I've got the music so loud, I can't hear me. You could have told me. He does radio as well. You could have told me the bed comes too loud. I can't even hear myself.
How long is it going to go on for?
Right, sorry about that. I'm going to take these off because of naff. You just watched that awful thing. Sorry for being awful as well at the start of the show, but we've just watched a pretty mundane 0-0. I'll get the thoughts of Arcade and then some callers. 0345 111 7625. If you give us a call now, you will be up and having a bit of a chat. Arcade, what did you think about it whilst I go and get myself some new headphones?
I thought it was a decent performance in defence. Obviously we kept a clean sheet. Romero did a fantastic save, and it was good that he didn't get too much of an injury. We don't like he might be going off. Maguire, Lindelof pretty solid. I think Lindelof got man of the match. I was well impressed with Williams again. I thought he was probably for me, he was our man of the match in terms of anything was going through him up front, and they should have really, you know, there was no clinical in the box in our half, and Greenwood didn't really get many chances. I mean, he had one shot on target, so that's disappointing. Fred was great when he came on, a lot of energy and stuff, but it's just, I can't see any structure at all, and what Solskjaer's identity is, you know, going into these games, because we set up like a lower league team going to a Premiership team, trying to get a result. 0-0. You know, our form there recently has been crap, so would you take that? But we don't really need any more games considering our injury list.
Yeah, I've just turned the microphones down as well, so hopefully that works. Apparently we were absolutely bloody loud then to start with. So not only could you not hear me, you had a load of wild music and then some sort of crappy mic signals. Sorry about that. Make sure you get in the comments if you see anything. I'll try and figure some stuff out. We are going to talk to Sam now. Obviously, always starts off the show. How you doing, Sam?
Hi, Sam.
Hey guys, how you doing?
Very, very good, Sam. Sam, have a chat with us then. You've just seen a 0-0 performance in the FA Cup, which means another game to fit in as well.
Yeah, that's going to be a problem. But it was a game of two halves. You know, we looked a lot livelier in the first half, but you get 70 minutes in, you have to sub on Fred. It really looked like we were just trying to hold on. Like the amount of pressure that we were having to deal with, there was. You know, it's clear as day. It's to the point where I can't really even blame Ollie anymore, that we just don't have midfielders capable of holding the ball. That's why we had to bring on Fred. So I just think we're at the point where, with the fixture list getting crowded, there's going to be one competition that we're going to have to sacrifice, and I could see that being the FA Cup. We're just going to have to, Jurgen Klopp it, play the kids, but it's just, even Ollie, I don't care what Ollie says in the press conferences, he knows that we need to strengthen, and we're in a dire situation if we get any more injuries.
Yeah, I mean, we were surprised with the lineup as it was. Matic instead of Fred. I thought when Fred came on, it was quite dynamic, but obviously we've got City coming up on Tuesday.
Yeah, no, and to be honest with you, Matic, for a good part of the game, didn't look too bad, and hasn't looked too bad. Over the games that he started in the past few weeks. But we know he's on his last legs, and he's really not a long-term solution. So there's so much work to do in terms of just overhauling the squad, and it's just going to be holding on. I think for me, we're going to have to sacrifice one of the domestic cups or both, and then just hold on to the Premier League and just go for the Europa League. That's the way I see it.
I think the thing for me, which is most disappointing, is that Wolves is one of those teams that people call ourselves a bogey team. I mean, there's a lot of talk about the fact we haven't beaten them in so long, and the fact they've been dominant against us in a lot of performances. So for Ollie to know that this match is coming up, for Ollie to know that a lot of people will be throwing these stats around, it'd be amazing for Ollie then to turn around and get a win against Wolves, to go to their background. They've just beaten City, they've had good performances against Liverpool, put out a team there that gets the win and moves us forward in a cup competition, that United fans might get excited about. Unfortunately, he didn't do that. He put out a team that some supporters might have scratched their head about. He's obviously having a preference maybe towards the mid-week game against City, which I can see, but there's a lot of talk in the build-up to this about Ollie getting undermined by that Wolves side at many occasions, and he again didn't go for the kill, didn't go out there to try and get United the win, and that's the thing that's upset me most about it. We talked about 10 shots on targets. That was one of the stats. 0 on target. The closest we got was a big effort by Rashford. Obviously, that needed a deflection as well. So the strikers went up to it. The people who were having shots on goal, they weren't. This is Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. A lot of people talked about him at the start of his managerial career about being one of the greatest strikers of all time for United. He always found the back of the net, but yet he can't coach his own team to get a shot on target throughout a game that you'd hope he would want United to win. He's the United manager, of course, wants every game to win, what we're talking about. But come on. There was nothing there. No,
it was a completely toothless performance. Aside from Rashford coming on and having that one strike that hit the bar, it was just really disappointing up front. But again, this has been the issue. When we're playing teams that aren't playing fluid football like the City or Spurs, we are going to struggle against teams like Wolves. But we were dominant for large parts of the first half. But we just didn't. Why are they not shooting from outside the box? And there was some instances I thought Ashley Young got some decent crosses in, but we didn't have the strikers there to get on the end of it. But yeah, I agree. I mean, this is the pattern throughout the season, Joe.
Sam, thank you very much for giving me a call. Listen, Sam, the phone line's gone absolutely wild, so thank you very much. You're a legend as always. Nice. I'm going to try and get to a couple more. Sam, speak to you soon, mate. Right, that was Sam. We're going to go to Wayne. Now, Wayne, the story of Wayne. How you doing, Wayne? You all right?
All right, Wayne.
Yeah, I'm good, thank you.
Right, so Wayne, obviously we had a chat with you early on this season. The story of Wayne, for any new listeners to the show, Wayne was very much supporting Ollie. Last couple of calls we've had with him, he's not too keen. But now, Wayne, where do you sit?
I say it's still the same. I just think, to be honest with you, if you looked at today's game, let's be honest, we had the idea of having wingers on the pitch is that you spread the play, that you're moving the ball from left to side and keep moving the ball and getting the wingers into a position where they can cross the ball. But our wingers seem to come inside all the time. I don't know if that's a lack of confidence. Then you've got sort of like when we do get into them positions, the ball comes across the box, there's nobody there. And for a manager that's been a striker, then he knows that you need them wingers crossing that ball to make sure that your striker is on song. And we're not getting enough crosses in, we're not getting enough shots in. If you look at the stats today, not one shot on target. I mean, come on, guys, that's Manchester United we're talking about.
Yeah.
It is bad, and it's. I understand that we've got no sort of players in central midfield, but if he is the man, then why aren't they backing him in the transfer market?
Yeah, that's a good point. I mean, when you look at where most of our assists, our crosses into the box came today, and in most games, to be honest, they are coming from the full-backs. I think Ashley Young and Williams today had more crosses than James and Pereira into the box. But again, yeah, I completely agree with you. But can I just ask you this? If you think Ollie's the wrong man for the job, and I'm not saying that I disagree or agree with that, because I'm sort of on the fence, right? Can you see that another manager coming in with this Finn squad and actually performing better? Because for me, there are worse squads in the league and worse teams in the league, but managers are getting better out of them.
I have a theory, gents, and it's only just a theory.
Go on, Wayne.
And I generally think that with Solskjaer, they appointed him to keep the fans happy for a while. They also appointed him to us because obviously they knew that they weren't going to spend big, and they knew Ollie would be a bit of a yes man. Now, if you'd have gone to, say, Ancelotti, who's gone to Everton, he's obviously been promised funds to go into the squad. Ollie, to me, doesn't seem like he's saying, look, we need some midfield players, we're on with it, we're doing this, we're doing that. It's all, well, it's got to be right for us. Well, I'm sorry, but it's a seller's market out there, and if you want to go out and buy players, I'm afraid you go to somebody and say, what's your price? Then they're going to say, well, look, in January, we're going to lump 50 million for him, 60 million. I'm afraid we're going to have to pay it.
Yeah.
You can't, and that's the thing with Ollie. I think Ollie's been appointed just to keep us quiet for a while. I really do, because there's no way on earth that if you look at his team, we stick too deep as well, gents. Have you seen how deep we are sometimes? And I know we're waiting for the counter attack, but crikey, if we'd have just put a little bit more pressure on Wolves and pushed up a little bit, we might have got them wingers going again.
Wayne, you say that you've been brought in to keep people quiet, and obviously for us, we saw him as a legend, and you, Wayne, throughout the season, you saw him as the man we can give a bit more time to. But surely now is when the rumbling really starts, because people like yourself who were so patient at the beginning, you've now started to even turn. So do you think that there'll be action if it carries on like this before the end of the season, or are we just going to have to stick with it till, well, who knows when?
Well, I think they'll stick with it now till end of season. If you look at where we are, we're only 5 points off top four, so I think that's a saving grace. But I think the only reason we're there is because we've had teams like Tottenham, Arsenal, and a few others that are having bad seasons as well. So I think that's saved Ollie. But I generally think that if we don't start looking now at buying players in and getting somebody in for the long term that's got a better vision than this, because it's appalling to watch, lads, isn't it? Let's face it, it's appalling. There's no passion, there's no tempo on the ball, there's no pressing. It is bad,
Yeah. Indeed. Wayne, thank you very much for giving us a call. That legend for getting in touch with us, always has been. We're going to go now to Toby. How you doing, Toby? All right?
Hi, Toby.
Hey, how are you?
Very good, Toby. So, Toby, have a chat with us then. What have you just seen then? Manchester United 0, Wolves 0. Not the best, was it?
No, it's so disappointing. I mean, we're United, okay, we're known for our attacking football, scoring goals, and yet we can't even have one shot on target. The closest we came was, I think, when Rashford came off the bar. I mean, that's appalling. Not even a shot on target against Wolves. I know they're a good team, but still, it's absolutely horrendous.
Yeah, I mean, if you're going in at half time and you've not had a shot on target and you've got a legendary striker as your manager, he should be. I mean, there's a famous video clip in this of Solskjaer online where he says, "Just shoot from outside the box, shoot from anywhere." And our strikers don't seem to be doing that, apart from Rashford when he came on the pitch within 10 seconds. I was surprised he stayed awake for it, Toby.
Yeah, exactly. You have a world-class manager in Ole that's known for scoring goals, and yet Wolves basically dominated us in the second half, attacking-wise. And it's at half-time, when you're watching the game, you just want to see what's going on in Ollie's head. What is he thinking? I mean, get more attacking tactics, get more attacking players, go a bit more up top. In the second half, we were just staying back in the middle of the pitch, and it was just so disappointing. I think the defence, I think Maguire and Lindelof, one of them two, should get the man of the match, because all the rest are just appalling, in my opinion.
Toby, so you don't see things getting any better, do you?
Nah, I think Lampard said about 3 weeks ago, when you take in charge of a club, you have a honeymoon period, and then you're done. That's obviously what happened to us. We got carried away, and then I think the Paris, the PSG game, that just was it. After that, Ollie got the contract, and it was like, I can stay here. Like, I don't have to work harder. So he just slacked off. So did the team, and we just were on a downhill. We're just on a downhill slope, and it's so disappointing. They need to sack him in January, but I don't. They won't. They won't sack him, but they need to. They said it's a 5-year plan. That won't happen. We'll just continue going down or just staying mid-table. It's just so disappointing as well that the Edward Wood and the owners they don't have any balls to do it. They don't have any balls because the only reason they appointed Ollie was to keep the fans happy, because they didn't listen to the fans about Mourinho, so they brought in Ollie and the fans were happy about that. So they thought, no, we're on the fan side, it's all right. But we're not. They still have the same problem. They don't do what the fans want. You see City, they're getting in Pep Guardiola. Who are we taking in? Louis van Gaal, David Moyes, Jose Mourinho, who had a crap season at Chelsea. I don't care if he won loads of Champions Leagues or something. He was crap at Chelsea, and I think United fans got carried away, like, oh my God, we've got Mourinho, like, this is amazing. But if you actually looked at his record, I think from 14 to 15, 16, you can see that his drive isn't there anymore. After Mourinho, we should have got Ollie, a short-term deal, say no to a long-term deal. Get someone there like Ancelotti. Like, we could have easily got him from Everton, because we're more attractive than Everton, obviously. We could have got him. We could have got the ex-Juventus manager. So many good managers. Yeah. But they're too afraid to do it because, as I said, they have no balls. They just are too afraid.
Well, they have no balls. They have no balls. Toby, I've got to get some more callers on, but you've been mint. Thank you very much for giving us a call, Toby. Giving us a call as always. That was Toby. We're going to go for Dan. How you doing, Dan? You okay?
Dan.
Hi guys, you alright?
Yeah, very good, Dan. I mean, Toby had her say there, sack him. Are you at that stage now?
Well, I don't know if I'd do it now, but I've never been. I don't think he should have got the job in the first place. I mean, it was inevitable he was going to get the job, as was just mentioned from that night in Paris and everything. But it wasn't for me. I think I'm different than a lot of fans. I mean, I just heard, the last caller talking about how poor Mourinho is, but let's not forget that since Fergie left, the best season United have had is under Mourinho. Yep. So it's all right saying he's useless and all that, but that's the best season we've had. That's the closest we've come to winning the league, and it's the best season in terms of trophies that we've had since Fergie left. So I don't think I was never for appointing somebody with literally no track record at all at the biggest club in the world. I just thought it was mental, and what was right, I thought, in that call was it was to appease fans. And I've noticed now, I don't hear them all. Where are they all gone now? All the fans who were saying things like, all these youth players, they're getting stopped by these shit older players. Well, where are they all? Because I'm not seeing them. Chong is shit. As simple as that guy. He's Bebe number 2. Wow. I don't know why people were getting so hyped about him. I saw a few games of him, and I was like, right, it looks all right, but it doesn't look like he's ever going to be a superstar. Yeah. And there's a ruck of other ones that are there, and they blamed each successive manager that they didn't like for not putting them in the team. Now Ollie's here. Where are they all? They're not there because they're not good enough. And the last managers knew that they weren't good enough, but the fans kept pushing and saying, you should get rid of all these players because we've got better youngsters there. Yep. Well, they're not better. That's why they're not out on that pitch. We need players. We need better players.
That's a fantastic point, Dan, because I think sometimes as United, because we've been spoiled over the years of how many players we brought through for the youth academy. Obviously, we've got that great record of playing someone in our team for over 100 years. But we seem to believe that whoever is coming through next is going to be good enough, but it isn't there anymore. If you look at the teams who win the Youth Cup, it's the Chelseas or the Cities, and if you look at Chelsea's team now that is full of youth players, they are stepping up to the medal. But I do have some sort of sympathy with the likes of, I don't know if Chong's going to be talented enough, but the problem that you have when you are willing to get rid of the likes of Herrera and Fellaini, who were world beaters, and you're putting a lot of pressure. When the likes of Beckham and Button, Scholes and Giggs came through, they had league winners around them. Do you know what I mean? To mould them into shape. Whereas now there's a lot of pressure on these young lads' heads.
Yeah, and I think as well, if you remember, you had the sort of players with a bit of balls about them. There's always in that Class of '92 film where Phil Neville's talking about doing the step overs, and Roy Keane tells him never to do that again. Do you know what I mean? It's the guidance of when people maybe I do have a poor game. It's the structure. It's the older players. You might need to tell them that they were shit. Do you know what I mean? Like I'm sure there was them conversations had when the likes of Gary Neville and that were coming through. Big older players who knew their career, they knew how good they were, telling the youngsters, no, that was a bit shit, that, try a different way or try harder. But yet you've got the likes of Matic in there, who you might say is an old player. He doesn't care. He's not asked if Chong has a shit game. He's got his money, he'll go home and he'll say it. The love for the club, maybe he's not there. A player like a Herrera might have been a good guidance, for example, who might have guided the players a bit better. We got rid of him. You know, Rashford, we can't put it all on Rashford to tell these youngsters to go through, because he's still a youngster himself. So there's that sort of, you know, Maguire might be someone who might tell people in the future, but it's his first season at United, and you can't. So it's the leaders as well, you know, and the youngsters. They'll get the stick for it. I do know what you're saying. They weren't good today. They just weren't good today.
Well, to be honest, this is the thing though. It's like, oh, Chong wasn't good today. He's not good. He's half decent in a game, and then all of a sudden, all the people who think all these youth players are the best thing in the world, he's the best. That's it. He's the best player in the world now. That's it. And it's like, but he's not. He's shit. He's not good enough. It's simple as that. I will put a bet down with anyone who wants to have a bet on the fact that he'll never be playing for any big club in Europe. I know it now. I knew it when I first saw it.
What odds are you giving for that?
What? Sorry.
What odds are you going to give for that?
I'll give you whatever odds you want to say.
You can say that about half the United team, to be honest.
Well, yeah, exactly. It's just it's just ridiculous why we just keep banging our heads against the wall. It's clear and it's obvious that these players aren't good enough. But then we set ourselves up by saying we don't want to buy any established players that are good.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, what? I don't understand it. It's just go out and buy the best looking players that are in the world that you can possibly get. Name the ones that you want and then say, how much do you want? There you go, there's the money. We've got them.
Dan, sorry, go on.
Go on, sorry.
I was just going to say, I've got to fly through some callers here. We're so busy. We're so busy. Dan, thank you very much.
Nice one, Dan.
I think the headline from Dan's call was Chong was shit. Let's see what Emmanuel's headline's going to be. How you doing, Emmanuel? You all right?
Yeah, I'm good, mate.
Sorry for your delay on the phone there, mate, but let's talk about Manchester United. What were you saying?
Yeah, it's very disappointing what I've seen. I just, watching the match, watching the, 98 minutes, it's just really disappointing. But I'm not really going to lay into the players. I think that's very senseless of people to really, abuse the players. I've already gone on Twitter and whatnot, and I see people saying this person is shit, that person is shit. However, it's fair to say that it just wasn't good enough today.
That's the second game in the bounce, though, isn't it, against Arsenal as well? Well, it wasn't as bad as the Arsenal game. At least we drew today. But it's two games in the bounce where we've been subpar.
Yeah, when it comes to the Arsenal game, I feel like it was just a matter of we just got outclassed by Mikel Arteta. I think in terms of this whole Ollie in, Ollie out situation, personally for me, the problem I have with him is that I think that he's learning on the job, which isn't necessarily something we need right now, considering the state of the club.
Yeah.
So I feel like, appointing Ole, yes, we did have that fantastic run when it was interim, but full time, I think we're starting to see, maybe he's just not the right man for the job.
And would you say that his time will be maybe at the end of the season, or do you think fans might force the board into a bit more of a move if results keep going this way?
I personally believe Oli will be gone at the end of the season. I don't see us making top 4. I don't see us making top 6. I think 5th is a bit of a blessing for us right now, if I'm honest with you. So I think he will be gone at the end of the season. But in terms of who to replace him, well, I just hope. I don't really know. My option is Ten Hag, but it really depends on who Woodward sees fit.
Yeah. Listen, Emmanuel, thank you very much
Cheers,
for
mate.
giving us a call there. Lovely to have a chat with him about everything that's going on between Manchester United today. Make sure you subscribe to Full Time Devils and hit the like button if you would for us. That'd be wonderful. Me and David all the way for about another 15 minutes. I mean, there's when I know this is just me playing what could be devil advocate, or just when clubs are in a relegation battle. Often when they get out of a relegation battle is because they sack the manager and this new lease of life comes. Look at Watford at the minute and just winning manager of the month. Is there anything to suggest that when you're in a top 4 battle and we're doing poor performances and poor shows like this and you can see yourself slipping away from the battle because you're just not doing good enough, is there anything suggesting maybe a change up could be quite good to give that push to get into top 4? Well, I'm not suggesting it would work, but I'm just thinking that they're either going to sack him in the next couple of weeks, or they're going to just wait to the end of summer, or they're just going to keep him forever.
There's not only a suggestion for it. There's evidence. If you look at when Mourinho was sacked, I think we were 7th or 8th from the league, and then we got Ollie in. And up until the last 2 games of the season, I think it was the Chelsea game. We could have got top 4. So sure, I don't think it matters if you're going for the top 4 or if you're fighting relegation. I think a new manager will instill. If you look at what's happening at West Ham, Arsenal with Arteta, it's a natural phenomenon that happens. Within clubs when a new manager comes in. For me, I think the telling sign will be if whether Solskjaer is going to stay at the end of the season will come if we don't sign anyone in January. I think that's because they don't want to make any Ole Gunnar Solskjaer signings, because if they sign a player now and Solskjaer, if he is to believe, has the final say on transfers, then that means if they sack him at the end of the season that we're going to be stuck with another player that somebody might not want. So I think if we don't sign him in January, I think his cards are pretty much marked, which I'm sort of 75% sure that he is anyway.
Danny, what are you thinking? You're on Full Time Devils, mate. Do you agree?
Hi guys, Happy New Year. Of course, Happy New Year.
Happy New Year, mate. Wonderful to speak to you again.
Yeah. Today's I'm lost for words. Honestly, really lost for words. More balls ended up in the stands than we got wins this season. Literally, we're just taking shots outside the box. There's no movement with the front 3. They're static. They've got no clue what's going on. The only person that I'm going to take my hat off to today is Chong. He intercepted. Yeah, I'm going to take my hat off to him. He played really well today.
Did you not hear Dan from Blackburn? He said Chong was shit.
Well, someone's been watching a different game, to be honest with you, but I believe that Chong had a good game. I mean, he ran for everything. He intercepted everything. He was the main threat in the second half. But judging by today's performance, some of these players' Manchester United careers are over. Literally, I've had enough of watching these performances. Like last week against the last game against Arsenal. I mean, Arsenal fans need to stop gloating because that win didn't get them very far. They're from 12th to 10th. But it just shows how far we've fallen and how quick a change is needed. But that change, we're in limbo. Because, like, for example, the past fans on the show have been saying that, Ollie was brought in to keep the fans happy. And now the board don't want to sack him because then the fans will get unrest. But look at the results. The results are talking for themselves. I mean, I came on last week and I said pushing for top 3. No, that ain't happening. I'm telling you, with the performances that they've been putting in recently, it's making my heart break. I've been supporting this team since I was 5 years old. Alright, we've been spoiled with success, and I knew the times were going to be tough when Sir Alex retired, but I didn't know that it's going to get this tough. Where we literally get impacted by a mid-table team. Wolves were not an established team in the Premier League 3 years ago, but now they're dominating us. Every time we go to Molineux, every time we go away to the mid-table teams, I feel for the worst. They play better football. They play with an identity. All is clueless.
Danny, got City again midweek on Tuesday. What are you thinking? What was your first thoughts on it?
I'm not confident for that game. I'm really not confident for that game. A couple of weeks ago, if you said to me, the performances against City and Tottenham, if you said to me then, how are you feeling about this Carabao Cup semi-final, I would have said, yeah, you know what, United are up for it. But the loss against Arsenal and the dire performance today, it's not giving me any confidence for Tuesday. And I think I speak for every United fan, is that this next couple of months are going to be a long, hard couple of months. I mean, now we've got a replay against Wolves at home. That's piling on top of the fixture pressure that we've got on.
Yeah, we're still in all competitions. Let's not forget about that. Every single one. Listen, Danny, I've got so many calls to get through. Meant to speak to you again. I know the derby might be tricky for you, so give us a call back and let us know. Mohammed's on the line. How you doing, Mohammed? You all right?
Yeah, mate. How are you? How are you, Joe? All right?
Very good, Mohammed. So, what did we just see then? 0-0. And what's your mind like afterwards as a United fan?
I mean, the best thing I can say for that performance is just it was inconsistent, and I think it has been for the last month. I would say, apart from the Tottenham and the City game, you know, we've done all right in them two games, unexpected. But then again, lesser teams, especially teams that sit back, and you know that whereas teams where we attack us, we go for the counter attack. I think that's been a problem all season.
And when you look at how it could get better, or if it could get better, is there anything that you see like a silver lining?
To get to that point, basically, I just think that Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, I want him, to be given to the end of the season. But since the last month, I think Solskjaer is really he's a bad shepherd, and you know what they say about a bad shepherd.
Loses his sheep. Is that the one?
I don't know.
A bad shepherd always leads the herd to a cliff.
Right, so how far away from the cliff do you think we are, Mohammed?
Honestly, I think we're about to fall off. But
I can see the edge. Fucking hell.
The farming hours.
Oh, that's not good, is it?
But it's not. But I'm hoping that we can get a few, at least one midfielder during this transfer window. But are we gonna get a midfielder? Pogba's obviously needed surgery. McTominay is going to be a few weeks. I think Solskjaer needs help. He needs a midfielder, even if we can't buy one. Maybe how about getting a loan? There's nothing embarrassing about getting a loan. Some big teams do it. Why can't we?
Yeah, that's a good point.
Listen, Mohammed, thank you very much for giving us a call, mate. Wonderful to speak to you, and don't forget what happens to a bad shepherd. Franklin, are you okay, Franklin?
Yeah, Franklin.
Oh, I don't think Franklin's there. Franklin, mate, this is your moment. Please don't let us down. Right, we have to go to America, and I think something's happening. Nagesh?
Hey, what's up? How's it going?
I've gone to America. Franklin's in Spain, so we've just hopped from Spain to America.
Nice.
Mate, you're on Full Time Devils, 0-0, United against Wolves. What did you make of it?
I mean, there's just nothing we can do. We need to get better players, and as long as that requirement is there is nothing that we can do to blame Ole when it comes to his tactics or whatever. I heard some absolute crap about Ole was laughing at the end of his interview. It's a press conference interview. He would have gone into that room and absolutely killed everyone. Everyone would have got the hairdryer treatment at halftime against Arsenal. I'm pretty sure that happened. And just because he comes out in an interview and he's laughing and he's saying, oh, okay, I guess the boys didn't really play that well, and that happens, we can't really say we need to kick him out. Just think about it. Arsenal kicked out Unai Emery saying that they're going to get Allegri. And then what happened? Allegri said he's not interested, he doesn't want to come. What happens if when we kick out Ole, Potts says he's not interested? Where do we go from there? Who's the next? Who's going to be our next manager?
Allegri is still available, though, isn't he?
You think Allegri is going to play United football?
What is? I'm tired of hearing about this Man United football. I want my team to win games before we start talking about any United football. And at the moment, we seem to be losing it and playing tepid football.
Yeah, and I don't want to see like we're ganging up on you here, but here's one. You would have thought then if they got the hairdryer treatment against Arsenal, getting humiliated, 2-0 down against a team who's pretty poor, the rivalry, the legend that we've got, the games that we've had against Arsenal. You would have thought then they would have beaten Wolves.
Yeah, well, we don't have the players to beat Wolves, do we?
But you'd have thought there'd be more fight in it.
You would have thought they got a shot on target at least.
Is that Ole's fault, or is that the players' fault?
Well, he's telling them what to do on the pitch, and he's setting up the team.
But he's not asking them to go and play that kind of crap football. That's the thing we need to understand. He's trying to get them. I'm pretty sure he's got a plan out there to ask them to play that kind of football, but they're unable to execute it. There's really nothing we can do, and kicking out Ole is definitely not the solution. If we kick out Ole, we're not. The thing is, if we're going to keep changing managers every 3 years, we're not going to win the Premier League trophy.
Why?
Ever.
Why?
I mean, you say that. Well, I mean, I remember being.
Mourinho, did we win the Premier League with Mourinho?
Well, I remember being blown away once by. I'm going to back him up in a minute because I don't want him to see ganging up on you. But I remember Conte coming in with Chelsea and immediately winning the Premier League with Chelsea. Yeah, it was Mourinho's first year at United. Pep was at City. Everything seemed not to go well for them, but Conte could just come in, get certain players in, and he won the Premier League. It can happen. Managers can come in and
he got the players that he wanted. Ole wanted Bruno Fernandes. He didn't get Bruno Fernandes. Ole wanted Haaland. I'm pretty happy we didn't get Haaland because we didn't give in to Raiola's request, and that's good. Ole wants Jadon Sancho. Ole wants James Maddison. Are we going to get them this January transfer window?
Okay. It's a good point. But final question for me. If Ole was in charge of a team, say Liverpool, say City, say Real Madrid, say Barcelona, is he winning trophies with them teams when he's got the players that you think are good enough?
100%.
100%.
I'll start off with all the teams that you said. Liverpool, they backed their manager 100%.
No. It's not about backing the manager. Would he know how to tactically win games with a Liverpool squad? Is what I'm saying to you. If the squad was better, which is your argument, would he be winning the Premier League now, like Klopp is doing at the minute? He's leading that Liverpool team to a Premier League title. If Ole was managing that Liverpool team, would they be so far ahead?
I'm pretty sure. I mean, he can switch it up. He's played a 3 at the back. He's played a 4 at the back. He's played a diamond. He's played a 4-3-3 wide. He's brought it in when required.
But just listing numbers isn't letting us know that he's going to win the Premier League. I don't think. I get where you're coming from. Yes, the players are a bit shit, but also the manager has got to take a bit of responsibility.
Okay, if we sack Ole and Potts says he doesn't want to come, who do we go for?
I don't care. As long as it's we've got to keep progression. The Premier League.
You're saying you don't care. You might as well go with Ole, right?
No,
he's got a point there.
I didn't get to finish my set. I mean, I don't care until we find the right man. All this blind faith. Solskjaer has no history of succeeding anywhere else except for the Norwegian B League or whatever the fuck it was.
What did Klopp win? What did Klopp win?
He got to European Cup finals. He did not win the Bundesliga or come second in the Bundesliga. Ole Solskjaer would not get the job at Liverpool, Joe. Ole Solskjaer would not get the job at Real Madrid. Ole Solskjaer would not get the job at Manchester City. I appreciate your opinion, but you're wrong.
But what do you think? Okay, fine.
No, I think you're right. I've changed my mind. I think you're right.
I'm just trying to have I'm not getting I agree. There's also the point that where people want Ole out and Pochettino in. But the question is, Pochettino went to a Champions League final. He cried at a semi-final, mate. He cried just because he made it to a final. Ole would not cry making it a final.
He just cried at a press conference at the weekend.
Right, listen. Can I just say something? We're going to wrap it up here because we've got to speak to Franklin in Spain. Nagesh, I love the fact that you've come on today. I love it. This is what this fan challenge is about. Different opinions, and we have it out. No one's right, no one's wrong. We just let the football talk amongst itself. Thank you very much for giving us a call, mate. All the way from America.
Thank you.
Lots of love, mate. And it's funny. We had a good laugh there.
Yeah, it was all done in jest.
Right, Nagesh, thank you very much for your call, mate. Legends. Get in the comment section as well. I would love to hear from you. Franklin, yes, we've got Franklin.
Yeah, guys.
Yes, Franklin. Happy New Year, Franklin. Your final caller, Franklin. Take the wheel. Sounds like you are, to be fair.
Yeah. First of all, that caller, the past caller, He's deluded.
We should have kept him on. Could have had it out.
Yeah, he's deluded. Klopp won the Bundesliga back-to-back with Borussia Dortmund. He went to the finals. So he's deluded. Doesn't know what he's saying. But that's his opinion. I respect his opinion, but he's deluded. Well, what we're talking about here, right? Like, every time we keep saying these players, they are shit. They are this, they are that. But same Ole come on press and tell us every time this player, they are good enough to play for Man United. So who do we believe? We believe the coach. Yeah. We work with these players every day. We don't work with these players. We see these players on TV. We read papers and we hear about this player. We don't see them. We don't know these players. We just see them on TV. So we believe the coach. The last time I called, I told you guys that these guys, they play to instruction. They play the way the coach wants them to play. So if the same coach comes out and says, oh, these players, they're good enough, they're this and that, we have to believe the coach because he's the coach. So whatever you're seeing right now is how the coach wants to play. Yep. It's how the coach wants to play. We can't just be stuck with sentiment. This club is going down. We love this club so much. We love this club. That's why I'm calling. That's why the guy is calling from America. The fan is so divided. But the fact remains that Ole is just what he is. Ole won the league in Norway back to back. He did. And after he left, he went to Cardiff. He got sacked. He went back. He got a job in United. Do you know this? Last season, the man that was there won the league in Norway. He could not win the league in Norway after he won it back-to-back. So he has to look in himself. We know that our midfield is shambles. We know that. Why is he not buying midfielders? That's the question. David Moyes took the job in West Ham. Just as of yesterday, he already confirmed that he's going for the same midfielder that was linked to Man United on Sky News. Now we don't even have no plan. The truth is that the midfield is the problem.
The midfield.
Come and say, oh, it's a problem. How will you talk about Matic? Matic is slow. That's how he's been playing. We're not going to bash him. He's not going to change overnight. Old Abby die young.
Franklin, listen, we've got to wrap up the show. You're our final caller, so thank you being so wonderful and patient on the line there, Franklin. Hopefully, maybe get a good result midweek against City, and we'll speak to you then because we will be here for that game. So, City next up in the derby. Knowing United, probably win.
Yeah, I mean, the run up to the derby and the Spurs game last time, we were all thinking doom and gloom and that. But I don't know. I think City, after they've pretty much written off the league now. So I think after we beat them at their place, they'll have the sort of sting in their tail to come to our place. But you never know with this Man United team. Two bad results on the bounce, and like the guy was saying earlier on, if he has gone in there and give the hairdryer treatment, you'd want to see some sort of response at Old Trafford on Tuesday night. Can I see it? I'm not too sure.
Who knows? All right, thank you very much for watching. Fancam's on the way. And make sure you leave a like on the video if possible. And make sure you subscribe to Full Time Devils. That's our kid. My name is Joe. And we'll see you very soon.
Tuesday.
See you Tuesday.